Welcome to this blue gold iron moment, Perceptive Readers. My father once said, "Oh, it's just to give people something to talk about." Now, with that thought in mind, I have to tell you, maybe for many of us, not just myself, we still have so much we have to do or we want to do, and what we want to say, and what we want to accomplish, that we need another lifetime, even on this side of the system of things that we've talked about. Now, in this blue gold iron moment, think about this. If it is true that some matters, some topics, some activities, even some acceptance is just to give people something to talk about or something to do, you can appreciate that. It takes away the boredom for a lot of people. It keeps their mind busy, etc. And yet, when do you have to draw the line on such matters? You see, for example, some years ago, there were some people who actually noticed the way certain things were going, even in academia, just the way that people handle matters. You know, the big craze was not only government, but, local government and even on the school level and things of that nature, where debates were continued to be encouraged in all these different schools and high schools. And I'm mentioning the United States of America again, so you can always use that as a reference point. But, some people pursued those types of activities to be able to organize their thoughts and influence people, and then even actually, win. And these were verified votes and things of that nature. When you see offices and things of that nature, even in middle and high school level. And as I mentioned before, it was taken so serious after you had taken a few lectures or courses on civics and things of that nature. And then the teacher got to see how it would not only, be enacted in the classroom, but it literally affected the whole school. And on certain levels there, whoa, but one thing that you still knew for certain, oh yeah, the type of persons who were counting the ballots and everything, those students, from the geeks, even the popular ones were even known to be honest when it came to the ones who were picked, and even the teachers were the main ones, you see, having oversight in that. So you knew when you got the final count, you knew it was no doubt in your mind exactly who had won. Okay? Now, moving on further, you see, there was once a man, and he actually referenced a certain time period. You see, he actually referenced a certain time period. And what he came to the conclusion on in his later years in life, see, was actually something that someone, again, decades younger than him, had already came to the same type of conclusion, but came to it in a different way, and would not express himself exactly in the same way that this much older man, actually found out and stated for himself, which again was more respected in. So that goes to show you, I've given you these examples at times where sometimes people will, even at a young age, will come to the conclusion that this would be a very great idea, or this would just be a very, very bad idea. And so let me get right back to, even in the instance of having something to talk about, where do you draw the line? You see, in some of these persons' efforts to have something not only to talk about, but to learn and to learn and to just grab all this knowledge and wisdom from this event or that event, I would have to use another Thomas Sowell quote where he was talking about different people. He actually gave them a name, but he actually was not in agreement with persons being able to drum up all these different type of scenarios or research or what have you, community research and going in and implementing this policy or implementing this idea, this theory, this social construct on a community. And then, literally, it does more harm than good. All hell breaks loose, so to speak. And then when they leave, it's like they went into this community, caused a lot of havoc, but they are not the ones who ever have to really suffer the consequences or deal with the consequences of their bad decisions and bad policies. Okay? Now, still with that thought in mind now, this man in his later years of life, it was almost like the question came to him in this way or that, as far as something that had happened some years ago. And now, to use that expression, the chickens have now come home to roost. When person said, well, what was going on? And then the man actually said, when all this was really being developed, etc., we were all too busy just writing papers, you see? So, and that's what I mean about, situations could be getting horrible, terrible. And yet, in the interest of, doing whatever it is in the pursuit of knowledge, it's almost like, you need to apply the wisdom that you already gathered or know right now to stop this or to stop that type of situation, you see? So anyway, I want to recall another historical fact, which I'm not going to go into detail on, but it is certainly something that you can learn from. Okay. In one sense, people talk about, which I will mention from the scriptures, you reap what you sow, yes. And then some people say, comma, and yet the way that you look at a certain situation in love, especially in dealing with the way that you reap what you sow, you will find even the solving of problems, even the meting out of justice at times, does not have to be as hard hitting as it often is for a lot of persons. Especially when I said reaping what you sow, a lot of people will use the example about, if you plant an apple tree, you're not going to get oranges. If you plant this other type of tree or this, if you plant roses, you're not going to get tulips, which of course, that is an accurate description, application of, reaping what you sow. Now, when you're looking at it in the way of love, the way that, I actually look at it as and implement it at times. Have you ever seen a plant or had a favorite plant that was wilting or was broken a little bit, and then you actually place some type of stilts, if you will, to help it grow the way that you want it to grow? Stilts are a lot stronger than just trying to prune. It's like, hey, if something is broken, then it'll have the support. And guess what? Then as the nourishment restores back to the stem and start growing back stronger, the next thing you know, that plant, which was damaged one way or the other, is still just as strong. And so guess what? what was done to it may have been bad or what have you, but as you continue to sow, you see, in a gentle or loving manner to help that plant get stronger, then guess what? It becomes strong. So no more of the neglect of the plant wilting, causing it to wilt, no more of doing this or that. No, you're actually seeing what is happening, and then you're taking steps to now sow in a better manner, help it to grow in a better manner, you see. And that's the way where I talk about just a different scenario or application of weeping what you sow, where just because something bad is done or happens, it's not always having to be dealt with in another compounding of hard or harsh treatment in order to fix a situation. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, in conclusion, in this blue gold iron moment, you see, some people may look at some of the recent events that are on TV as being a form of karma, for even a high official, you see, right now, because it was a very sad situation that happened about 4 years ago in the country that I'm talking about, where there were legitimate claims. Literally, they were legitimate claims of tampering. If I'm not misunderstanding the information here, no, I think it was more than just legitimate claims. I think some of the interviews or the reports and also people who were actually supposed to be certified and in charge of watching this whole process, those type of persons were literally pushed out. And then a lot of type of individuals who weren't really even didn't even have really authority, from what I understand, to start, certifying this and that type of vote and this and that or what have you. The whole process became just unmanageable because it was just too much, duplicates here, false stuff there. No way to really truly trust and verify. So in a lot of ways, things were just thrown out. And it was almost like, I guess you could say, it still boiled down to some other higher level people who still just really made the decision in the first place. But on the grassroots level, the way it all looks in the first place, you see, on the grassroots level, it looked like it was one big, as the military would say, one big cluster. You know what I'm talking about? And I think there's not one person in the military that you share this podcast with who probably wouldn't 99 to 100% agree with me. He's right. So look at the situation we have now. And in my blue gold iron moments, I talk about these different ones. I talk about the older ones and things of that nature. And, I mentioned there's a certain way, and this is one of the things that, I talked about in years. It's like, okay, in some people's minds, it's like, what does it matter anyway? Eventually it's just going to work out. And that's why, they just let all sorts of stuff just go on and stuff like that at times. And then, like that one man found out because of a situation becoming so bad, they said, yeah, we were so busy just writing papers. You see, is this, when do you draw the line? You draw the line when the road that you're totally, leading down towards is going to destroy the situation, the policy, the freedoms, or what have you, as they are today, well, you know what? Then you won't ever get another opportunity to vote on this or that again because you didn't do what you were supposed to do right now. You see? And so, with that being said, you know, there are some persons, and you know, I always say again, I kind of know how they think sometimes. You know, there are some persons that, okay, in one sense, you're saying, well, you're worried about the effect that the look it would have had on the other people or the representatives in this way or that way or what have you. You're worried about, are you really worried about it? Because as I told you, as some people would say, and now some people have said, you know, okay, if it really don't matter, you know, in this instance, now why all of a sudden you so-called saying you worried about how it would affect this person or that person. When I told you, the way that I look at it sometimes, where from what I've seen, you can even have an older person that I told you again, not moving as fast as they used to. Everybody knows that, you know, it may take, instead of the quick-witted suckings of smart and you see, and really knowing what he's talking about, or etc., how that used to come out in seconds, now it may take, you know, a few more minutes. You see what I'm saying? That still, when you have persons that, you know, may be coming up young and things of that nature, then you know what? By them showing an understanding and graciousness still towards that, you see, that older person or what have you. And I'm talking even in leadership position, because this is what I mean by that, in leadership position, because, you know, sometimes people say, oh, the whole world is laughing at us. Are they really? Are they really? No, they're not. Want me to tell you why they're not? Because they still know they got so many other individuals, even younger at that, that know they ain't gonna stand for them coming over here with no mess. So the whole point is, in some of these cases, let them laugh. They know not to mess around. So the whole point is this still. You know, sometimes an older person, they already know that they just want to see if they can manage this one more time. If they can accomplish something one more time, and already in the back of their mind, which they won't even tell you, and that's what, you know, I talk about people who don't allow you to keep nothing secret to yourself. They think everything that's a secret is bad, when really there's a lot of secret stuff that's good. That already this person, in their dignity, could, in the back of their mind, sometimes saying, I want to do this one more time. And really, what I'll just be doing is laying the groundwork, you see, for this person. You know, it wouldn't be the first time somebody has gone into office in one way or the other. I'm talking even all the way down, you know, to the high school level and things of that nature, where they might have not even served out their full term. And for different circumstances, for this reason or that, you see what I'm saying? They left the person still that was coming after them, that was filling in, still in a better situation. The dignity was maintained. The dignity was maintained. Anyway, have a very wonderful day. Take care.